In today's episode of Trend Ukama, I will be showing you Eziego of Iheala, the Nigerian billionaire who sold his soul for money. Real name Chief Victor Nnamdi Okafor, known famously as Eziego, meaning King of Money in English, was a native of Uzoka, Iheala, in Anambra State, Nigeria, who would have been one of Africa's youngest billionaire till date, but died tragically at the time he was to celebrate his birthday. It was said that he sold his soul to the devil and made a pact with the gods of the Okija shrine in order to gain wealth. Some claim he made a deal in exchange for immense wealth and would have to bring his wife, mother, father, or children, but rather decided to trade his own life in exchange for wealth and died mysteriously at the age of 35 on the same day as his birthday, 25th December 1999. At some point in Nigerian history, he was ranked as one of the youngest millionaires during the late 80s all through the 90s at the age of 25. Being the first son of his father, he attended Uzoka Primary School but was forced to drop out in secondary school at Abbott Boys Secondary School, Iheala. On how he can be, Oga saying a crime be the way, but for God so loved this one that when fellow gang members were caught and punished by law enforcement agency, Oga was so lucky as in Jackpa waiting no nines and was the only member of the gang that was not caught. This one Ododo Taito. On hearing this, his father reportedly disowned him for being a member of the robbery gang that was showing Onitsha traders Shege Pro Max at the time. He had no other option than to go and stay in his mother's village Umuduru before Sakpa finish him. However, while at his mother's village, things no con stew. He can't dare as if the Sakpa where in the Jackpa from, na there being head office. So exactly time Oga carried his Ngwangwa nonsense and moved to Lagos. Oga sir reached Lagos and was on a low for years. The next thing, this young man Busta Rhyme come from nowhere a millionaire. I beg, who is your guy? Because this your plug no clear people. And everyone was questioning how did a school dropout and former terrorists become a millionaire out of nowhere. Now so we can hear two gists. The first people talk say he made a deal with the devil at the infamous Okija shrine, trading his soul to gain wealth for a short period of time. On top say Papa won buga and headline major occasions with enough doings, doing zazi. But is that the real fact? Did he sacrifice half of his life for a limited amount of time filled with wealth and luxury? Now the second gist is that the source of his wealth is from one or two Okrodoik Wakama via 419 wey him been dey run. The present day Yahoo abi internet fraud. As it was said, he did advance payment type of scam where he would make someone pay in advance for something that he had probably shown them to buy. And from there, he will most likely take the money from people who wanted to buy properties, land, houses, and cars, making them to pay in advance after showing them the products, and your money will be otilo cooling in his aza. This second school of thought believed that he used the scam funds to invest in really good business, which later became a major source of his immense wealth as he opened Eziego Shopping Complex on Allen Avenue, Lagos State, Nigeria, and also the Eziego Plaza on the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, Abuja, the nation's capital, where he controlled one of the biggest electronics store in Nigeria and had businesses that dealt with building materials and a functioning real estate firm that dealt with houses both in Abuja and Lagos. Nice line of business though, but make we try reason am. Can this alone equate for his wealth and the caliber of houses and properties that he owns across the country and fleet of cars he owns? This one na Fast and Furious o Naija version. As you fit use in car garage open car stand, he had one of the largest private car garage in all of Africa. His garage alone was valued at almost 1 billion naira. He once dropped 14 million to acquire a sedan Lincoln Continental Mark 8 and a Mercedes-Benz R230 convertible. You get money, and even if you get money, your money long waiting no nice. This one money was not a problem, but we had to lavish him as he had 70 houses all across Nigeria and in the overseas and over 10 billion naira in his bank account. And you still think this one source of wealth na electronic shop? They play, just they play, make clothes they wear you. His house in his hometown was built mostly out of glass bulletproof. Now keep in mind this was in the 80s and 90s in Nigeria, so it's like where do you find a house made out of bulletproof glass, which did cost millions of dollars at the time? He even bring the Oyibo men's all the way from Yankee to his village for Anambra just to fix this glass. With this excessive show of wealth, people began to wonder maybe he really did have an affiliation with the infamous Okija shrine, because abeg na common electronic shop owner get all these doings. His source of wealth might have not really been the purest. In fact, his death made it all make sense. After amassing so much wealth, he usually visits his hometown in Iheala, Anambra State, Nigeria, every Christmas to celebrate his birthday and the Yulu tides, which people always looked forward to, usually in a carnival manner with lots of masquerade display, children, women, and men singing and dancing behind his vehicle as he sprays them money. For one that usually takes a plane from Lagos to Port Harcourt or Enugu, and from there his convoy of about 6 cars already parked in his compound in Anambra would be waiting for him and his family to drive them to his house, but decided that year he would use the road. On 23rd of December 1999, he set out with his family for his journey to his hometown Iheala with 6 of his finest cars, which include a Lincoln Navigator 1999 9 model, a limousine, a blue Porsche, a Lexus Jeep, a Cherokee Jeep, and a latest Honda. Now, the Iheala stunner in this particular trip, he decides to drive himself alone without anyone inside. Ain't that strange? And this has never happened before. Why did he then suddenly, after so many years of being driven to his hometown, wanted to drive himself alone? Now, somewhere along Ibadan Expressway, his Jeep developed a fault. The Jeep managed no breakdown until they got to Asaba. Now, there the Jeep say, waiting and no do again. Okay, leave the Jeep there for repairs with one of your boys. Baba say, no, we must carry this Jeep and go with us. Rather, he ordered them to go and get a chain, which he used to tow the Jeep and connected it directly to the car he was driving. But Oga Bossman weighing BO. Now, this clearly doesn't make sense. They passed Asaba and were getting close to Iheala, 2 kilometers from his village. In an attempt to dodge a pothole, he immediately stepped on the brake, and all of a sudden, the vehicle he was towing hit his own from behind, causing him to tumble into a ditch by the side of the road. They were able to bring him out of the vehicle, but Oga don collect wetin no nice via the accident, which disfigured his face, and already his stew start to dey gush outside, and immediately was rushed to the hospital. Ironically, the hospital was a hospital he recently made a contribution in millions of naira into, Our Lady of Laudas Hospital. E be like this one been get update of wetin be one sup. Unfortunately for him, the hospital was under-equipped, and his family members decided to get him adequate treatment, but Oga kicked GP tank before anything could be done, and was declared dead on 26 December 1999. After his death, people began to connect one dot to another. Surprisingly, 3 years later after his death, his wife dies with the family lawyer who was supposed to read his will. Until date, all of his assets, cars, and properties are still the way they were at the time he died. Nobody want run this one answers looting style, as everything still there intact. Cha cha. In fact, his mansion in his hometown, Iheala, Anambra State, was totally abandoned. Today, his mansion is a shadow of itself. His cars that were valued at millions of dollars at the time have all been abandoned too. The palace is officially just a place for sightseeing, and people are so afraid of even stealing anything from that compound because of the omen and belief that all the wealth were affiliated with the Okija shrine. All his businesses and establishments have crumbled and vanished with the wind as though they never existed. Did he know his time was up? That was why he didn't want anybody to join him in his vehicle, exchanging his soul for wealth for a limited life rather than exchanging it with that of his loved ones.
This is Ezego of Ndigbo before he died. This is his palace, Ezego of Iheala, Ezego Ndigbo. This is his swimming pool where he used to come and relax himself before he died. This is the uncompleted building in his house. This is the